Hey guys, thank you all so much for joining me for another yoga practice. Today we are celebrating the new moon in December, which is held in the fire sign of Sagittarius. Now, Sagittarius is an opportunity to be adventurous, to explore, to find some fun in your yoga practice. So we're going to try that through some dynamic movement and some heat building, as well as some of the postures I find really good fun as well. If you are already prone to restlessness or burnout, you may want to skip this practice and choose something a little bit more restorative instead. If you're looking to bring along some complementary practices, you could bring along some bergamot, sandalwood, or tea tree oil for some aromatherapy. Or if you wanted to bring along some crystals, you could bring along some Sodalite, Citrine, or Carnelian to help amplify a little bit of that fun fire energy. I really hope you enjoy this practice, and I'm wishing you a wonderful next lunar cycle. Thank you all so much for joining me. Namaste. Okay, welcome everybody to our Sagittarius new moon flow. Remember, we're trying to keep that adventurous spirit in our practice today. So even as some of these postures may be a little bit challenging, try to find the joy in the movement. Maybe try something that you wouldn't ordinarily try, and just see how you get on. Remember to explore these postures fully within your own body. What resonates with me may not necessarily resonate with you. So be kind to yourself and try to find some fun in this practice. So we're actually going to start today straight away in a downward facing dog. Now, these next two postures, either of which can be done from a tabletop position instead, if you find that down dog is a little intense. But otherwise, we're going to bring our wrists slightly in front of our shoulders, tuck the toes under and lift those hips up and back. And really always start with a generous bend to your knees in downward dog. If we find that we end up forcing the knees straight, sometimes what can happen is the chest can collapse forwards. So bend the knees, press the chest back towards the thighs, and then I'm going to find a little bit of movement by pedaling out those heels. Now we're going to find some ripples through the spine. This is to warm up through the spine, but also to activate a little bit of that core strength. Now remember, this can be done from your knees and come into kind of like a cat-cow position instead. Otherwise, what we're going to do is we're going to lift those heels up, ripple the spine forwards into a plank pose with your shoulders over your wrists, bring your gaze forwards, and then we're going to do the exact opposite movement. So bring your chin towards your chest, round the spine, and eventually those heels come down towards the floor. Lift those heels, ripple the spine forward, so your chin is the last thing to come away from the chest. Reverse the movement, chin to chest, ripple the spine up and back, and eventually those heels come down. Now you can go with your own pace, find a little bit of fluidity to the movement, feel the strength. Remember, the slower you move, the stronger you're going to feel in this posture. Inhaling through to plank. And exhaling, rippling your way back to downward facing dog. And on your next exhalation, just find downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths. And allow yourself to become still. Now bring your feet a little bit closer towards your hands, so that maybe a foot closer and slightly wider, so they're more like shoulder distance apart. We're going to take an inhalation here, and then as we exhale, we're going to bring our left hand over towards our right calf. Now if this is a little intense from down dog, you can come into a revolved thread the needle pose from your tabletop position instead. Maybe just peeking out underneath your right shoulder. And on your next inhalation, bring yourself back through center. As you exhale, twist to the opposite side. So bringing your right hand over towards your left calf, your left ankle. And hopefully, if nothing else, feeling a little bit of heat building within the body. This explorer, this energizing, powerful energy through the body. Inhale back through center, and then you're welcome to find another downward facing dog. We're going to move straight into the hip mobility, lubricating those hip joints. So again, this can be done with your left knee down. On your inhalation, you're going to lift your right leg up, find some rotation through the hip from down dog or tabletop. Draw circles with the knee, or maybe it feels nicer to just draw circles with your ankles. Maybe bringing the heel towards the left sit bone, really opening that hip.
Maintain smooth breath as the chest opens. Exhale fully. As we inhale, square the hips, straighten that right leg. As you exhale, bring your knee towards your nose, bring your shoulders over your wrists. Maybe your knee taps your nose, and then step the right foot through. Just take a breath in your runner's lunge, catch your breath. It's quite a strength-based practice today. We're going to feel the power of that exploring energy. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. As we inhale, we're going to rise into crescent lunge. So keep that right knee stacked over your right ankle, really sinking the right thigh low, eventually parallel with the floor. Option for arms overhead or palms together at the center of the heart. Squeezing and engaging that left glute, breathing in. As we exhale, press that left heel down, bring the arms out to capital T for warrior two. Continue to sink that right thigh low. And as this is a Sagittarius practice, we do have the option to lift both thumbs up, so give everyone a thumbs up. Bring your left hand forward to meet the right, and then inhale, pull back on your bow and arrow. We won't be here too much longer, but feel the power in the legs. Explore how this feels in your body. Exhale fully. And then as we inhale, we're going to come back to warrior two, extend through that right leg. And as you exhale, reach those right fingertips towards the front of the mat. Bring the right hand down towards the thigh, shin or ankle, maybe towards the floor. As those left fingertips reach up towards the ceiling for triangle pose. Exhale fully. As we inhale, we're going to bend the right knee again, come back to warrior two, and then go beyond warrior two into reverse warrior. Left hand to left thigh, right arm alongside the right ear as we inhale. And then as we exhale, come back through center, pick up that left heel, and you're going to twist, pinwheel the arms, bring the left hand down to the inside of the right foot as those right fingertips reach up towards the ceiling. So that left heel is lifted, you're feeling the power as you press through the left hand. Now this next transition is a little tricky, so take it gently. If you need to watch me first, you can. Keep your left hand where it is, look down, and then on your inhalation, bring your left heel down, bring your right foot back to meet your left. You can either stack at the ankles or bring your right foot in front of your left for side plank. Really push into that left hand, engage the obliques as you lift your hips high. Take a breath in. As you exhale, bring your right palm down under your right shoulder, come back to plank, and then lower, elbows in towards your ribs, either knees, chest, chin, or come all the way down onto your belly through halfway through low plank. Inhale into either baby cobra, or if it's in your practice, you can take up dog. Keep your glutes soft, tops of the feet press. And then as we exhale, lift yourself up and back into downward facing dog. And just take a regulatory breath. Perfectly natural, in fact beneficial, to feel your heart rate beginning to speed up here. Imagine that pumping the body with fresh energy. And then we can utilize that energy to direct our focus, direct our flow and our power for the next lunar cycle. As we inhale, we're going to lift the left leg up, and as you exhale, bend your left knee, bring your left heel towards the right sit bone. So remember, this can be done through a tabletop position if it's a little intense to keep that right leg lifted. Otherwise, three-legged down dog, maybe exploring movement through the ankle, or just lubricating the hip joint. Once you've found that movement, inhale, extend the left leg up. As you exhale, stack your shoulders over your wrists, knee towards your nose, maybe it taps, and then step through. So strengthening your core here as well. Find your runner's lunge, regulate your breath. And then as we inhale, rise into crescent. So sinking that left thigh low, but still continuing to engage through the right glute. If you did on the other side, hands to heart center is also an option. Take a breath in. As you exhale, spin that right heel down for warrior two. Press through the outside edge of the right foot, gaze forwards towards the left fingers. If you did on the other side, thumbs up, give everyone a thumbs up. Inhale, bring your right wrist forward to meet your left. And then as you exhale, try to keep that elbow lifted as you bring the elbow back. Sink the thigh low. As we inhale, return to warrior two, straighten those arms, extend through the left leg, and then as you exhale, reach forward with the left fingertips, pivot, bring the left hand to the thigh, shin or ankle as those right fingertips reach up. Try to lengthen through this left side waist, so you're not curving the spine, instead press the pelvis towards the back of the yoga mat. Look down as we inhale, generous bend through the left knee, come through warrior two and reverse that warrior. Right hand to right thigh, left arm alongside the left ear as we breathe in. As we exhale, come through center, pick up that right heel as we pinwheel the arms. So eventually right hand down to the inside edge of the left foot, left fingertips up towards the ceiling as we twist. Now we're coming into that side plank, take it gently. Right wrist is firmly underneath your right shoulder. Bring the right heel down as we inhale. Press your left foot back to meet your right. You can look down or look up if you want to challenge your balance. Keep the pelvis lifted high. Take a breath in. As we exhale, bring your left wrist under your left shoulder, square yourself into plank, and then lower down. Inhale into your back bend. Exhale into your downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. If you need a little child's pose here, feel free to take one. And as we inhale, lift the right leg up and back, kicking the wall. As you exhale, bend the right knee, step the right foot through. You can do a little knee to nose tap, and then step. Inhale, rise into high lunge. And then as we exhale, we're going to sweep the arms back, bring the torso forwards for airplane lunge. Again, inhale into high lunge. Exhale, sweep the arms back, bring the torso forwards, airplane lunge. One more time, inhale, sweep up. Exhale, airplane lunge. And this time on the inhale, if you'd like, you can come straight into airplane pose, bringing the weight into the right leg, left leg lifts up and back. Bring your torso towards parallel. Keep a long, tall spine. Take a breath in. As you exhale, bring the hands to the floor, begin to fold forward, chin towards your right shin, as that left leg lifts up and back. Now you're welcome to hold here in standing splits. You can also take your right hand to your right calf, maybe even your left hand towards your right calf. If you wanted to add a bit of dynamic heat into the body, on your exhalation you can bend both knees, bring your left knee, tuck it behind your right as you squat down. Inhale, extend that left leg up. Exhale, squat down. Inhale, lift the left leg up. Exhale, squat down. One more time, inhale, lift up. And then this time as we exhale, bring your left foot down in line with your left hip. Just bring your feet to hips distance apart. And a little sway from side to side. So a little ragdoll position here. You can also take the feet a little bit wider if that feels nice. Just regulating your breath. Remember, today's practice is all about exploring, taking joy in what we find, leaving the rest behind. So that being said, we do have the opportunity for a fun little arm balance. If you don't want to do the arm balance today, either because of injuries or you just don't feel like it, you can take a chair pose. So with your feet hips distance or toes touching, you can sink those hips low, sweep the arms up, or palms together at the center of the heart as the shoulders drop away from the ears. If you want to try a crow pose, if you're pretty new to arm balances, I'm going to recommend you start with your feet hips distance. If you're pretty experienced, bring your toes together to touch. Bring your palms to the floor, shoulder distance apart. Bring your knees towards the backs of the armpits, and then maybe one foot at a time, lift those heels up off the floor. Keep your gaze forward as you hug the thighs in. And then from here, you have the option to step or jump back into a high plank. In 3, 2, 1. Maybe more gracefully. Inhale, lift up into your back bend. And exhale, downward facing dog. Regulate your breath. Exhale fully. One more round of breath. And exhale fully. As you inhale, lift your left leg up and back. As you exhale, bend your left knee. Maybe your knee touches your nose as you step through. Inhale, rise into crescent lunge. As we exhale, bring the torso forward as we sweep the arms back. Airplane lunge. Inhale, high lunge. As we exhale, airplane lunge. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, airplane lunge. This time on your inhale, if you'd like, come straight into airplane. Bring the weight into your left leg as your right leg lifts up and back behind you. Sweeping the arms back. Keep your gaze fixed to one point at the front of your yoga mat. Keep that right hip down and in line with the left. Take a breath in. As you exhale, bring the hands to the floor as the right leg lifts for standing splits. Chin towards your left shin. If you wanted to hold here, you're welcome to stay, or maybe bring your left hand to your left calf. Maybe bringing your right hand to your left calf. If you wanted to add that movement, inhaling tall spine. As you exhale, right knee tucks behind left as you squat. Inhale, lift the leg. Exhale, little squat. Inhale, lift the leg. Exhale, little squat. Inhale, lift the leg all the way up and back. And then exhale, find your ragdoll pose. Little generous bends through those knees. Maybe even a little rocking from side to side. This has been a very high energy transition into the next lunar cycle. Hopefully we're going to cultivate some of that curiosity, that adventurous spirit through with us for the rest of the lunar month. Now, if you wanted to, there's a second opportunity for crow pose. Otherwise, maybe this time you want to take that chair option. If you're taking crow, find your balance. For a maximum of 5 breaths, bringing the weight forward into the hands, knees towards the backs of the armpits. Take a breath in. As we exhale, step up or jump back. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. We're going to make our way through to seated. So the first option is to just draw up to the shins. Otherwise, bring your shoulders over your wrists into plank. Right knee to right elbow, left knee to left elbow. Cross at the shins as we sit through. If you jump through, you can jump through. From here, we are almost done. Hopefully, like me, you may be feeling a little bit out of breath. Feel that energy through the body. Wonderful, creative energy that we're going to be able to utilize in our own direction. So bringing the hands to the backs of the thighs. Maybe just take a little boat, bringing your shins parallel. If you feel supported here, you can bring your arms alongside the body, squeeze the fingers together. And if you feel good even here, you can extend those legs. Holding for 4, keep breathing. Low belly in and up, 2, 1. See if you can lower down through low boat, so your lumbar spine presses into the yoga mat. For 3, but your shoulders and head are still lifted. 2, 1, release down onto your back. Let yourself sigh it out. When you've got an excess of energy, sometimes a good sigh is a really cathartic way of letting that go. So we're just going to gently stretch out through the hip flexors and the abdominal muscles. Now, if you have a block, you're welcome to do this with a block. Otherwise, like me, you might have to find a little bit more effort. Bringing those knees to a bent position, those heels in towards the sit bones, knees hips distance apart, arms alongside the body, palms face down. And then as we inhale, we're going to press the lower back into the yoga mat as we begin to lift those hips up. So option here to squeeze the glutes for more of an intense hip extension. Otherwise, like me, maybe softening those glutes so you feel actually the proper release of the front of the body. Maybe interlacing fingers behind the back. If you had a block, you can place it underneath your sacrum, the flat part of the spine, just above your bottom. Keep your chin away from your chest as you feel all the tissues of the front of the body opening, inhaling. As you exhale, if you had the bind of your hands, gently release. As you lower back down. Hug your knees into your chest. Give your spine a little release as you rock from side to side. And just notice how you feel energetically. You may notice this kind of vibration or pulsing through the body. This is pranic energy or your life energy. You've just spent the last 20 or so minutes really cultivating, building. And now, as with any new moon, now is the time to direct that intention into your next lunar cycle. So just making your way into Savasana or your own version of rest. Maybe supporting yourself with pillows as much as you needed. Really allow your body to become heavy, to become soft here. Let go of any control of your breathing and instead allow your breath to find its natural fluid rhythms. Again, just becoming aware of how the body feels, exploring from a curious perspective, as if you're just learning now how your body is and how it works. Sensing each feeling that you hold within. And then letting the experience of the external body begin to drop away. You notice again how you're feeling energetically, emotionally, how your thoughts are responding. Whether there is a stillness you can locate in between the stories. And it's in this space that I invite you to set your intention, whether that be just for today or for the next lunar cycle. As we are working with the sign of Sagittarius, I invite you to keep that explorer's eye open for the next month. To learn and to observe what works and what tunes in with you. The winter time is very much an intuitive, introspective time. So really apply that, not only to your yoga practice and your physical body, but also to the emotions, the mental body, how you feel, how you explore. Always be learning, always be growing. As with all of the new moon cycles, I invite you to take a little bit of time here for reflection, maybe staying on for a full 10 to 15 minute meditation if you have the time for. Otherwise, I really invite you to continue exploring, to keep growing through the next month. Thank you all so much for joining me. As you go forward, I wish you peace in your thoughts, your words, and your heart. Namaste.